Honorable Benami.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank Honorable Nico Smith for having brought this motion. I think it's one of those issues that must always remain alive on the calendar of this House for the next 5 years. Because if one identifies the biggest challenges of governance, the governance architecture on the whole of the African continent, chief among them is corruption and misappropriations of funds. Together with other issues like democratic, presidential, security, famine, and pandemics that are sporadic. Now, if you look at the amount of resources that we are losing as a continent through corruption engineered by multinationals through illicit financial outflows, base erosion, transfer pricing, and what have you, it will amount to trillions of dollars that we are losing in our trade volumes, the deficit that we are experiencing. Secondly, intra-Africa corruption, misappropriation of funds in ministries and in government agencies, is resources that could have been spent better to improve the socio-economic welfare of our people. Had we managed our resources in a prudent manner, we would not have needed to sell our fish stock to foreigners to finance our socio-economic needs. Because if you look at the money that we are losing through the auditors' general reports, government accounts, it hovers around 2 billion. And it has to do with corruption and the culture that we have brought, that government's business is nobody's business. And that's a culture that we need to seriously address. Because the other day I was traveling to the north, quite with a very fast vehicle. And my driver was doing probably 130, 140. And when I woke up, I said, oh, you are going too fast. A government car just here to Umutia, double cab, one ministry, boop. We are doing 140 and I'm saying, no, we can't go there. This person comes probably with 180. When we reached Onyanya, I took off because I was really angry. And I went to this driver and I said, look, you are doing two things. If you want to die, it's no problem. Maybe you want to die, but you could die. But the other problem is that this car is my car, it's our government's car. And had it been your own car, with your own fuel, with your own tires, I doubt whether you would have driven it the way you were driving it. Now look at all government vehicles on our roads. At Onyanya.
I think he stopped on the way.
He stopped on the way. That's how I could speak to him. I can't speak to a fast car. But what I'm trying to say, don't defend the indefendable. The culture starts there. Of government business, government properties is nobody's business. Look how our drivers are abusing government vehicles. In fact, I want to move that on any government vehicle, there must be a call center number written that if you abuse this car, report this car to this number. Because our people have no regard to state assets. It starts there. Because it's a government car, it's free petrol, I'm sent to Katima Mulilo, I'm sent to Omtele, I'm sent wherever to go do a government business, it's sharp. Now imagine if a car is doing 180. Its own fuel consumption is 2 times more than doing 120. So you are losing that money just there, government money. That's why I was propagating, and I'm very glad that the Prime Minister and the President heard my call of the petrol gate. That the abuse of petrol in this country has cost this country billions of dollars. Well, I've been advising you on a number of things. Just admit. Yes, I've been saying it. You were opposing it, and now you are doing what I said. So I'm the one that is correct. Now, Utoni Nuyoma, with all due respect, admit to listen to the other side. I also listen to your side. You brought an instrument here, I'm agreeing with you. Agree with me. Well, it's also the game of politics. To be opportunistic is the game. Don't be worried about opportunism. Worry about the sense that I'm transmitting. Go to Omega if you want to see rampant abuse of government resources. Go to Omega. NDC project that is idling there. Go see tractors, corrugated irons, farm implements, bulldozers, parked there. Every day people come there and take parts and go. Government infrastructure. There's a security guard who is paid. When I arrived at the place, I was asking these men, what are you protecting? No, I'm the security. I said, why are people stealing under your watch? Taking government property. It's true. She was there with me. She accompanied me. And I said, this is the culture that we have. We don't protect our own. Secondly, with the administrations, the executive directors, there is something that we need to address if we are serious in addressing over expenditure of government resources. It's the finance department. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Deputy Prime Minister would agree with me. Before her tenure, before she came to the ministry, there was always a consistent fight for ambassadors to fight for an accountant, which accountant must come to my embassy. And it's not something new. Namibia is also maybe small scale. There are other republics that I tell you that if you get the best accountant, you can be able to loot government resources from embassies. I know, that's why I'm saying before your tenure. But I'm sure when you came into the office, you found some of these anomalies. Where we fight for a particular sled vine to come to my ministry or to come to my embassy for me to chop the money better. Yes, you can't say, you have lost 500 million unaccounted. Your ministry has 500 million unaccounted.
On the point of order? Point of order or point of information? Is your microphone?
That money is unaccounted for. That's what the Auditor General said.
Yes.
I can't hear from you, I hear from the Auditor General. But what I'm trying to say is that I know what is happening in government. But I want to address the culture. And if we think we are going to fix these things through the after effect, because the financial report, is the after effect of events. You need to change the culture in ministries, in government institutions. That finance departments have two things, Prime Minister. One is inside trading. You have particular people in finance departments of various ministries, I'm not saying all of them, that knows that our ministry needs 100 tents. Our ministry needs 100 tires. Our department needs this and that. That is why you would have a person tendering to clear a road, and he has tendered that his X costs $4,000. How was that tender approved? For somebody to get a tender by quoting government that one X that costs 460 at Agra, he has quoted 4,000 and he got a tender. He got that tender because there is someone in the finance ministry, in the finance department of that particular ministry, that okays these things. And I think we need to attack our finance departments. That most of the time the over expenditure in ministries are designed by certain unscrupulous members of the public service that are ready to do inside trading. And that is one thing that we must fight against, that if you are in government business, you can't be able to become a business person or bringing your cousins to come and make tenders. Because if you look at the whole procurement system of government, there is nearly no tender of government that is not inflated deliberately. That is why you spend 1.5 million on 33 corrugated iron checks. 33! One corrugated iron check costing close to 40,000. Who approved that tender? Finance department, inside trading. And for as long as we are not fighting our finance department, making sure that we avoid our people to do inside business in their ministries, using their offices to advance their personal wealth, we would continue to have this problem. Now, after a year, after 12 months, she's the one that she gave the checks for 44,000.
Make sure the mic is on. Oh. You come back home. Wait. Can you assist?
Honorable Venani.
Can you assist?
Yeah.
Switch of mind.
Thank
That's
you,
okay.
Comrade Speaker. No, it's okay. Thank you, Comrade Speaker. It's just the information which I wanted to give to the honorable members on the sharks you have seen. The rumor you have some sack from your finger. Listen here, I don't take those chitty things if I'm giving information. It's a rumor which you have some sacked yourself that it was
Let's
1.4
clear,
million, which was a lie. Which was a lie. It was not 1.4 million. It was a lie. I cannot give you. Prime Minister gave 500. Listen here. If you want me to give you information, you wait, I'll give you information right now. Prime Minister gave 500,000. The Ministry of Gender gave 400 plus something. Out of that, you cannot build up a concrete house of 33. Each house will cost how much?
Okay.
So you subtract your information. So I want to rule it out that is a lie, 100% lies. And I'm coming with a ministerial statement to come and diffuse the lies which you are subtracting.
Thank
you
you.
colleagues.
Thank you.
Let's tell the truth, and the truth will lead us to be good leaders,
On the
not
point of-
lies.
point of
It will never.
information, thank you very
Comrade
much.
Speaker, no, on one thing,
Okay.
the shame they are trying to put on us is not true. The shame, I'm saying the shame. Diffuse that shame which you are trying to inject on others. Listen here, my girl. Listen, this parliament had disciplined the leaders.
No.
Your behavior you are coming up with
no
will
dialogue,
never take it.
No dialogue, please.
I'm talking to Honorable Venani. You are not Honorable Venani. I'm telling Honorable Venani the correct thing, but you are injecting your rumor in. If you are rumor mongering, never should you come with the Ministry of Gender.
Thank you.
Poverty
Thank you.
eradication, never.
Thank you.
I'll reject that
Thank
in
you.
my life.
Thank you. Honorable Benani. Oh, no, the mic. The mic. Wait, no, wait for the mic.
But now let me just give you some evidence that your own government has spent 900,000 on 33 checks. It's still too much. Look at the money that was budgeted during the COVID time on toilets. Government needed to build roughly 70 toilets or 70 abolition facilities. If you disagree with me, okay, no dialogue. No dialogue.
Please, I think.
Honorable Minister, this is not your money. It's not your money. And if you are
No
this is not your
dialogue,
money
honorable member,
to behave
please.
in such a very disorderly manner.
Yeah, please.
These are people's money.
Please, honorable member,
These are people's
let's not
money
have a dialogue.
that we need to protect.
Yeah, please.
It is wrong to defend overpricing in ministries. And the ministers that are accountable should help us. In fact, I'm helping you, telling you that it's not ministers that are I'm helping you. I'm helping you as a legislator. I'm helping you.
Yeah, please.
Okay, this is the attitude.
Yeah.
The attitude is then we must just conclude that the corruption that is happening is designed. Because those that must disagree with us are not disagreeing with us. You should agree with us that we should fight the culture. I'm talking about the culture. But she is defending the culture. So then the corruption that is in this country is designed by ministers and those people in the offices. Well, I have no capacity, no resources, no government that I run to corrupt the system. I have no system at all. So don't compare yourself with mine if you are running a budget of 2 billion and you are saying a man who's running no budget has the same capacity as you do. So please, don't blame corruption on everybody when you are doing it. Don't think when you are not going to church, everybody doesn't go to church. There are people that goes to church, and we do go to church. But Honorable Speaker, I want to conclude by saying the following. That if we do not realize, sooner or later, that any government procurement system is inundated with discrepancies of overpricing. Just as Tambo Beki in his report spoke about, eloquently in his report spoke about Africa losing money through transfer pricing, we ourselves are losing money in over-budgeting and over-expenditure of things that we can buy cheaply. I want to thank government for one thing, and it's under your tenure, Minister Sledby. In the old days, government cars, Mercedes Benzes would be taken only to MNZ. That was the culture in government. Today I'm seeing some authorized government Mercedes-Benz dealers are working on government cars. And it's a step in the right direction. It's something that we must, but what took us 30 years to do that? I'm seeing Mercedes at Orion and all these places. Because you must look for the cheapest prices. If you go to the highest bidder and you are just saying, that is my place. I tell you, someone at government garage was doing these things deliberately because people are getting money. Look at what is happening in South Africa, in Mpumalanga, where a government officer has a car worth 2.5 million that was confiscated yesterday. These things are happening. So it's one thing to look at reports and to take remedial actions. It's good, and I agree with Honorable Smith on that. But I think we should really workshop the culture in our society that government property is your property. It is my property, and all of us must protect it. It is not the business of those that are owning it or that are using it to protect it. Any government car passing you, abuse, speeding, it must be reported somewhere. Because if we don't do that, that culture will never come. Because everybody just thinks, it's a government truck, it's passing there. What is it doing? You would find a government truck next to the road, putting petrol. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's a culture that we must fight. So I wholeheartedly support the motion of Honorable Smith, and I think regularly we should really bring those reports in this House so that we debate it. Because corruption can no longer be a challenge to governance if we do not, should not be the challenge to our governance. We should have other problems. But the problem of corruption, we must fight it head on.
Thank you. Thank you very much.